go to our guest that is here today. And this is something that's coming up that happens every year. This is information that could benefit you. And I'm a firm believer in putting out information that's going to benefit, the community, that's going to benefit people. And this is one of the things that definitely you want to be able to tap into if you can. But I'm pleased to have with us today Scott. I hope I say this correctly because I have a habit of chopping up names. McAninch? McAninch. Okay, I'm sorry.
No,
I did it
enough.
again.
Close enough.
He is the Chief Executive Officer, and I also have with us today Jerry Moore. He is the Chief Marketing Officer, and they are with the Nonprofit Council, and they're here to promote a specific thing, and I'm going to let them talk about that. And thank you, gentlemen, for being here so much. I appreciate taking the time and coming and sharing what is going to happen next week, right? So please give us a little background about maybe the Nonprofit Council, maybe people that may not be aware of, maybe their first time hearing it, but anything you may think they want to or definitely need to know about the Nonprofit Council.
Sure. I'll take that, and we can then segue into our largest program of the year, which is coming up next week,
yes,
that you mentioned for all nonprofits. So the Nonprofit Council is basically, it's a membership organization of nonprofits in our community, and primarily in Bexar County, but we do have some in the outlying counties of Kerr County and Comal.
Okay.
And what's different from our memberships, unlike some others across the country, the members of ours are the CEOs and the executive directors of these agencies. So we have 218 plus members of the council, and they're the decision makers. They're the folks that are involved with the agency, know what's going on with their individual agencies and the programs that they have and the community that they serve. And we just kind of bring them all together pretty frequently, either in person or virtually, through an email chain that they can communicate with one another. To us, just that collaboration, and when people come together,
right.
They tend to talk, they tend to sort of share, and they learn more about one another's agencies, and it just fosters that support of one another. And that's one of the good things that came out of the pandemic the past couple of years, is our network really utilized the council to help one another navigate through shutdowns, coming back into the office, PPP equipment, all of that. They weren't doing it alone. They asked questions and they got answers from one another. So we're real proud of that. And we have a strong advocacy committee that we work with local city government and county to advocate for nonprofit issues and things that the city and county may be looking to do. It could be funding, but primarily we stay more focused on policy that the community and the city and county may be working on. That how does it affect nonprofits, and more importantly, how does it affect the clients that nonprofits serve, basically community members. And if it's a negative, we express that, but if we're in support of it because we know it's going to help the services of agencies to help the community members, then we certainly voice that as well. So we want to be an advocate to those policies, but we also want to point out when they may be a little bit detrimental to the work that the nonprofits are doing.
Right. And you mentioned, I don't know how it affected you, but I know the pandemic really kind of affected everyone. It wasn't just like, it only affects a certain part, but I think overall it really hit a lot of everywhere you can imagine,
yes.
Right? So how did it affect you? Did you slow down, or was it, I think you were mentioning it made it more like you were more needed then?
It seemed that, and I will say we'll be talking about the Big Give, which is coming up.
Right.
But what happened during that time of the pandemic, Sunday, and I think it was like the 14th or the 13th of March, 2020, I got a call from the mayor. Big Give was going to come up that Thursday. It was ready to open up on the 16th of March for our Big Give campaign in 2020. And the mayor had reached out and asked if the Big Give would be willing to open our registration again and allow any nonprofit to participate as sort of a COVID relief website.
Okay.
He thought it would be important. He did let us know that the city would be voting to kind of do the shutdown on the 16th, and thought it would be very important. Events were being canceled.
Yes.
Fiesta was canceled that year. So there was a lot of impacts to funding streams from the nonprofits. So we obviously got our board together, and GiveGab is the platform provider for the Big Give, and talked to all of them on that Sunday. And of course we decided, I knew we would do it. I just wanted to make sure it could be done. It was all ready to flip the switch, and we needed to revamp it to basically kind of reposition it as the COVID relief site. And Jerry can speak a little bit more about that, the marketing and the website redesign and just everything that had to change. But we got it done in 3.5 days.
Wow.
So we did go live with it on the 16th of March. And so, to me, that solidified the really importance of Big Give. It's not just a community giving day every year, but it's a site that we know moving forward, if there's anything in our community that is a public issue that affects nonprofits, that funding is reduced, we can flip that site and we can make it a relief site pretty well within a matter of days, because it's all virtual and it's all online.
Right.
And no one else in the community was able to pivot that quickly. So we got up and running, and we had that site open for the remainder of March, April, and May. And the nonprofits that used it were able to raise nearly $1 million in direct funding that goes directly to them. I mean, it passes through the website with some nominal processing fees.
Sure, of course.
But it goes into their bank accounts within 5 to 7 days, and they can use that. It's unrestricted funding. Okay. And that's the importance of it. So, we saw the COVID pandemic as an opportunity to really strengthen the nonprofit council and certainly the Big Give.
Well, and that's very important, right? Because everybody took a hit, and some of them didn't survive because of that, the lack of funding, right? Anything that they were doing, if money wasn't coming in, that was a whole issue. But again, sometimes surviving is learning to adapt fairly quickly,
right? And
I think that's a great thing what you were able to do as far as being able to help those who were probably definitely in need, as everything that was going on. Jerry, I want to go to you. What specifically, or what was it that the marketing part of what he was talking about what you all are doing?
Wow, where do I start with that? So I want to talk, I want to start with Pepper.
Okay. Not Dr. Pepper, right?
Not Dr. Pepper, although maybe we should get Dr. Pepper to sponsor Pepper.
There you go.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Hey, I gave you an idea.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
I'll send you the bill later.
See, it's all just about
already
talking.
Working. That's right.
Profit
Communicating,
sharing.
Yes.
We wanted something to add some visibility and fun to the event, and we wanted to come up. We decided we wanted to come up with a mascot. Scott mentioned GiveGab. They are the technology partner that runs and manages the platform that we use to run this event, and they have a leaders conference once a year where other giving days from around the country, and you would be probably, I would think most people would be shocked to find out how many of these community giving days there are. There's hundreds of them. So some of these leaders come together and attend this conference, and a few of them have mascots.
Okay.
And we sort of,
So you're lagging in that area.
Borrowed the idea and came up with Pepper, and Pepper has had several iterations, but now is a very visible part of the event. So you'll see him in many of the places that we go. So he's featured prominently in a lot of the marketing that we do now. Obviously, we run quite a bit of content on social media. We have a team of folks that help us out. We've got a gentleman that comes in from out of town who's a national social media expert, which I am not. So he helps us do that. We have a PR team that helps be here with you today, and we've got a really pretty website that GiveGab makes sure runs very efficiently and smoothly, and hopefully very intuitively for donors to come on and use. So that's basically what I do. I'm usually more behind the scenes, but
I hear you. I can relate to that.
But with the staff of 3, which is the nonprofit council, everyone has to.
Yeah.
So you have a staff of 3?
We do.
It's more like 2 and
2.5.
2 and a 2.6.
Mercedes is our COO, but she's part-time.
Wow.
So we run this $5 million giving day, plus all the other programs of the council, very efficiently.
So I take my hat off to you, because I'm thinking, well, you probably have a whole team of everybody doing something, right?
A lot of people think that.
We make it look like it, which I guess is,
That's
you
good.
know, kind
It's
of.
testament to the professionalism and what you
It's
all
a
are
testament to
doing.
that marketing and everything that we
Right,
do.
Yeah, I'm a one-man show, so I can, like I said, when you're
You
doing this,
know.
I'm like, okay, I can't complain because you guys are doing this, and it's only 3 of you. So if I can get one more person on board, I think I'll be okay. But wow,
Mercedes has 0.4 of a day left, so
okay. I don't know if that's good or bad, but okay, Mercedes. Okay.
Shout out to Mercedes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to get to the meat of what we want to talk about, right? Which is the big give day, and this is why you want to be here to share that with our listeners and those. Like I said before, if you're a nonprofit, keep listening, because this is something really good that you want to take advantage of and you don't want to pass up.
Right, and so I will say that this year the Big Give the site will open. The BigGive.org will open on Thursday. Or it's open, I guess, when this airs.
Okay.
This is airing Saturday, so
Saturday.
The site will be open. So if donors want to go in to the BigGive.org, they can look around. They can make donations during that time, but the big push is the 24 hours, which is 6 p.m. September 22nd through 6 p.m. September 23rd. And we say that's the big push because we have $131,000 in funding, prize money, that we used for match minutes that basically help donors drive their donation. They potentially could get matched during any one of those given minutes to their nonprofit.
So you match funds of whatever they get?
Yeah, so if you go in and you donate to a specific organization through the website during that minute that's identified on the Match Minutes page of the BigGive.org, you potentially, if you make it in time before the funds run out, could get your $50 donation doubled to the nonprofit that you chose.
That sounds like a very good deal.
It is, and I will say that there are some $5,000 minutes, there's $10,000 minutes, and there's a couple of $20,000 minutes. But on history, the past couple of years, those run out pretty quickly.
Okay.
We have 30,000 plus donors that come through the site with more than 500,000 eyeballs during that time period. So the chances of you getting matched are pretty good, but you may not. But but you know what? You're still making a donation.
But it's available.
Of support.
That's the whole thing. It's available. It's not like, we don't do that at all.
No, and it also
it's a
gives the
good thing.
nonprofits something to market to their donors.
Right.
Say, hey, donate to us at 9:09 a.m. You might double your donation up to $100. So it gives them something to incentivize their donors.
Absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't want to get any opportunity to double what you're getting? I mean, at that point right there.
Right.
So that's a great thing. The Big Give, like I said, it's coming up, and it's something that I guess I have heard of it. I haven't really gotten into seeing the full everything that they do, but I know it's a good thing. And for anybody that's listening out there right now, you definitely don't want to pass this opportunity, especially if you're struggling a little bit and you're trying to find anywhere you can get some type of monetary donations that would come in, or anything that will be able to help you in what you're doing right now. Because again, the COVID really hit a lot of people, and then some of them are just barely starting to get on their feet again. And anything that helps, of course, will definitely be appreciated. If they want more information about the Big Give, where can they go? That's going to be the marketing, right?
Yes.
Let me shift over to the marketing.
I will tell you where you can go. The BigGive.org, again, is, that's sort of all of the information and everything that happens is there. If you want to learn about the Big Give, there's a drop down that has a ton of information on training. You can go in and you can do a search for, you can search the nonprofits that are participating by their name, by their location, by their cause.
So they're listed on the webpage.
Yep. There's a little search bar up there at the top, and it works pretty well. And if you want to learn about the Nonprofit Council, you can go to tncouncil.org, and that's our site that talks about not just the Big Give, but the council itself, the other programs that we do, how to become a member of the Nonprofit Council if you're a nonprofit and you want to join us and join several hundred other local nonprofit folks that are thinking and talking and dealing with the probably most of the same things that you are.
Right. And so if you want to participate in the Big Give, do you have to become a partner or register or anything at that end to qualify to be in that?
I think the important thing to say at this point is, because the site opens and will be up and running already, that it's too late to register for this year.
Okay.
But we encourage folks to add this to their fundraising calendar, just like they would any other fundraising event. Registration for Big Give opens the beginning of May every year and closes for all intents and purposes, closes at the first part of June. Now, we do occasionally make exceptions to that for people who have participated in the past and may have missed that deadline for one reason or another. But we really try to get people in during that month, because the most successful agencies are the ones that get a good jump on this process and allow themselves enough time to build a
following
and a profile that's colorful and informative and engaging, and really helps to draw donors in, both previous donors, but in many cases, and one thing that this event really strives to do is connect new donors with their organization.
Right.
There's not a lot of other opportunities or events that allow nonprofits the exposure to the number of possible new donors that this event does.
Right. And we were talking about this earlier, that, like I help some nonprofits, whatever I can do, but unless you put yourself out there, unless people know that you even exist to begin with, it's kind of hard for people to even start to even put anything into you.
Right.
And so this is a great opportunity to put yourself out there. People will go to the website, right, and they can choose from that list to see, well, who do I want to contribute to? But again, if you're not part of that, how are you even going to get anything to begin with?
That's right. And I think it also takes time. If you're new to it and you're a smaller nonprofit, we encourage them to sign up early, like Jerry said. We do the training page on the Big Give site. We've recorded past trainings. We do, over the 9 years that we've been doing this, we've had training camps and individual workshops to help the nonprofits. And some of those are recorded and on the website. Then GiveGab, the platform provider, does webinars that are recorded on the training page. It's like, how to set up your profile, because every nonprofit of the 400 and plus that we have this year participating has their own page within the site. So they can tell their story. As Jerry said, they can put a video, their logo, donation levels, and if you donate 50 to our organization, we can provide this. So the donors know exactly what, I would like to do $100 because I can have the agency buy more of, supplies for their constituents. So it's really kind of cool, and it's a way for them to market themselves within the vast platform. Donors may find that, but they also, if you use social media and if you kind of do mailings or email blasts to your current donors, and ask them to share.
Right.
That's the biggest thing, is that peer-to-peer fundraising, which is very strong with Big Give, is if you ask your board, your volunteers, the people that are in your circle to share the Big Give message out and your page, that's where you can see the exponential growth of donors.
And again, it's about advertising, right? It's people don't know, people aren't going to do anything as far as contribute because they don't know you exist. And that's why I always tell them it's important, whether you're a business or whatever they may be, a nonprofit, that you make yourself available, that people know who you are, and find ways to be able to get your name out there, and for them to know that, okay, this is somebody that I definitely want to be able to help out. They're doing something good for the community.
Right.
And it doesn't cost you anything to just be able to utilize whatever tools are available. There's social media, right? Facebook, Instagram, things. A lot of things that are free that you can utilize to put the word out there.
Yeah. And then with the Big Give, we found we do charge a nominal fee for registration.
Okay.
It's $200 for regular during that 6-week open period in May. But we do that because the nonprofits really need to understand that in order to participate and fundraise, there's a cost to doing
Absolutely,
that.
yeah.
And we want to make sure they have some buy-in. And you know, $200 is fairly nominal no matter what size you are, and we just want to encourage nonprofits to think about that as before they register and make sure that they can at least raise more than that $200 you know, fee that comes in with registration, because we want to make sure that they don't have a bad experience, and that they know that over the time, over year after year, you're going to grow your campaign, and we hope to help you along with that.
Right. Well, it's an investment. I mean, realistically, when you hear free, sometimes it's not really free. I mean, it costs something somewhere down the line. Someone's having to pay something.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's good that you bring this up front, because a lot of people think, oh, well, you know, they think, oh, it's just here, let me do this, and I'm getting all the money.
Right. And many, as Jerry said, there's hundreds of cities and communities across the country that do these, and I would say 90% of them are run by their local community foundations, and many of them don't charge a registration fee, or it's even less than the $200. But they're also community foundations that have that infrastructure and funding available to do that. The Nonprofit Council is a nonprofit just like the nonprofits that are participating.
Right.
So we do have to make sure that we have the infrastructure and the funding and support to be able to work on this year-round to bring that program to the community. And you don't have to be a member of the Nonprofit Council to participate in Big Give. We do offer match minutes that are specific to our members. We have 2 5,000 match minutes that are just for Nonprofit Council members during the 24-hour period. So that's a little incentive to join.
Yeah.
But you don't have to.
Right.
You know, and so as Jerry said, I would go to the Nonprofit Council website, look at membership, because I think that is a way, if you're a new nonprofit or you want to connect with other nonprofits and learn and maybe share, you know, like we have this service, and this agency with the Nonprofit Council also provides a similar service. Let's partner with them and let's share some of these services and, you know, like kind of unduplicated clients. So there's things like that I think that the council is a really important resource to nonprofits in San Antonio.
No, and then definitely you want to be able, like I said, to utilize whatever you can to benefit what you're doing, because it's difficult right now because of everything that's been going on. And when you have something like what you're offering, you know, you definitely want to take advantage of that. Now, this can work for the nonprofits, of course, but then also for the people that are out there that are going to be donating as well. A lot of times they want to be, you know, especially now with the internet, sometimes you may not even know who you're donating to, right? And they put up a really nice webpage, but it's going somewhere in Africa or somewhere. So it's very helpful to know that you are a very awesome organization that's been doing something very good for nonprofits. So if anybody's out there listening right now and you're saying, you know, I've been wanting to contribute, this is a good way to be able to know that where your money is going to a real organization or a real cause, right?
I think we should note that there is an extensive verification process that GiveGab performs before an agency can even be visible on the site to accept donations.
Okay.
They verify their EIN number, they verify their bank account, the owner of the bank account. So it's about as safe as it gets as far as
doing your due diligence,
doing
sure
the due diligence.
This is who they are.
So safe that sometimes the agencies are like, you know, this is kind of a pain in the butt, but
it's
for their own
donors
good.
want to know their money is going to that organization.
Absolutely.
And with the Big Give, all of them are.
It is.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. We are at the end of our program here, but I appreciate it. And listeners out there, please give to the Big Give, right? You're going to be affecting and making a positive change in so many different organizations. Thank you, and we will be back here again next week.